Patients use clothes, wash it nicely, sun dry it and use it. Reusable clothes, they are much better than the sanitary napkins. These nowadays the microplastics and the plastics have become a big menace. Even drinking in plastic bottles, plastic cups, and they all have some chemicals which are released, which are called endocrine disruptors. They are causing a lot of havoc in the body. In fact, people are going in for infertility because of that, and certain cancers are coming because of that. In fact, even certain hair colors, these lipsticks which we use, nail paints which we use, they all have these plastics in them, the phthalates or PDAs, PFAs, so many things which cause endocrine disruption. They cause a lot of hormonal changes in the body which are very harmful to us. So the lesser of these things, chemicals which we use, the better. So we have been told as gynecologists when we go and give talks in schools, colleges or offices to tell the patient either they can use the menstrual cups which are available now, reusable cups. After washing they can be used again. There are videos demonstrating how to insert it also. So they either you can counsel them to use the cups or the menstrual cloth like earlier days after sterilizing it properly. So they are telling us to discourage them from using the pads, or if you use the pad, it has to be changed at frequent intervals. I have patients coming and saying, "Doctor, I just had 2 drops, that's why I used it till next day morning." As the pad is in contact with your delicate vulval skin there are chances that those things will be absorbed into your body. That is why we are seeing more cases of cancer in that vulval parts, even the endometrial cancer, the uterine cancers are pretty common nowadays. So these are all contributing to those things. So this is regarding in general about the menstrual cycles and what is to be used at that time. Another common complaint which most of the young girls now we see are the PCOS or the PCOS. The patient comes to us and they half knowledge, they read on the internet, they come and say, "Doctor, I think I have PCOS." In fact, first time when the patient came, I didn't know what she was saying. Then I realized, oh, she is talking about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. We used to call it either polycystic ovarian disease or syndrome. They all mean more or less the same thing. It's just a different definition, that's all. So most of you girls, after you start your periods, anywhere between the age of 10, 12 or max 15 also, for the next 8 years, we can't brand you as polycystic ovaries because it takes 8 years for the HPO axis to properly start working, and after that if there is a problem, then we call it as PCOS. Till then, the report is given that there is a polycystic ovarian morphology on the scan and the patient has irregular cycles. There is one more criteria called Rotterdam criteria in which there are 3 criteria. There are signs of, male hormone excess, androgen excess, like the patient will have male type of baldness, less hair on the head, but other places hair more on the hands, on the abdomen, on the legs, and facial hair is more like on the lips and on the chin. In fact, they need to sometimes shave or get a laser done very frequently. So either that condition or the polycystic appearance of the ovaries and irregular periods, having less than 6 periods or 8 periods in 1 year. All these are the criteria. So just seeing polycystic ovaries on scan doesn't brand anyone as PCOS. So again, this PCOS is due to a hormonal problem which can be caused by many environmental factors, and there is a genetic predisposition also. In fact, when you are a fetus in your mother's womb, as early as in her 5th month of pregnancy itself, it will be decided that when you are born a girl child, you might develop into PCOS when you grow up. So this PCOS may start any time from the age of, we may diagnose it from the age of 18 or 20, and it might go on till menopause. And usually they come to us with the problem that periods are irregular or heavy periods, or they may manifest in many ways. They may come to us with excessive hair growth, they may come with infertility, that they are not able to have a child, and it might, if left untreated, it may be associated with insulin resistance, a condition in which the patient may go on to develop diabetes in a later age. Usually PCOS patients may develop that. in our country especially, it is now called the diabetic capital of the world. We have a lot of people who are eating the wrong kind of food, not having the right kind of sleep, 7-8 hours of sleep in the night, which is causing a lot of changes in the body. I think we should blame the social media for it. They are on their Instas and the Facebooks, and they go on till late night and they don't realize the time also. So with no proper sleep and eating a lot of junk foods which are more tempting to them, they don't eat home food. You know, the mothers bring the daughter and says, "Doctor, she feels ashamed to take my lunch box which I prepare because all her friends eat outside, she wants to eat outside." So once in a way eating outside is fine. When we were young, only in a year 2-3 times in some festivals we would get holidays or we would get some special food, we would crave for it. Oh, another 1.5 months for Yugadi, then only I will get holiday. Now every day 20 types of holiday you get in all holiday monies all over Bangalore. So that is why, you know, people overeat all those things, and you know, they develop obesity, they develop a lot of issues with their health. So definitely you have to take care that you maintain your body weight, and sports from young age. This is what because we were not impressed these points on when we were young. We didn't know the importance. Now when I go and speak in schools for the menstrual about the starting of menses, we have to advise them and all that. When they tell us, when we go to schools, I make it a point to tell them, you get 1 or 2 marks less, it's okay, but you should not skip your sports for that sake. Being physically active and playing sports is very important in taking care of your health in the long run, for your bone health, for your overall being healthy till the end. You know, you have to, from the young age, you should be physically active. So that is very important from young age, that should be dinned into the heads. We didn't realize it when we were in school. Okay, sports period, teacher has not come. Some boys or some students will go out and play. We'll sit with our books and we'll say, okay, we'll sit and read. We'll finish off our homework and be done with it. So it's very important. Physical activity is very important. And now for the vitamin D sake, at least morning 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, at least 15 minutes, half an hour, try to go out in the sun. That is the time your body absorbs the vitamin D. So it is very essential that you have that exposure to sunlight for vitamin D manufacture by your body. So this PCO, another bothersome symptom is the pimples or the acne. So the girls, especially in the younger age, they are very much bothered about their looks. They want to look good on social media. They want that many likes and people to, you know, appreciate them. So they try to find all kind of remedies, and they go to all quacks and use all different kinds of creams and things which are harmful to them. This is a passing phase, this acne also. Generally after teenage, it will settle down. All the more you should take care of your diet, not eat lot of oily stuff, not eat chocolates. Then that is the treatment, rather than applying some expensive creams to your face. And for the excessive hair growth, yes, you can approach us, gynecologists. We will see if that is caused by a hormonal problem. Then maybe we would recommend some hormones. At the same time, for the removal of the hair, we would recommend certain other measures which you can do. Yes, it does. You do feel a little conscious about your body image, and these days, you know, when the parents tell them that you are fat, you lose weight, the kids get offended that the parents are body shaming them. So they bring them to us doctors, and we try to advise them what is the right thing to do and how they should take care of themselves. Now the other condition which is commonly seen in that age or when they come to us is endometriosis. This endometriosis is a condition where the uterine tissue is seen outside the uterine cavity, either on the ovaries or on the fallopian tube or on the intestine, because when the uterus contracts with the menstrual period, part of the tissue will come out from the fallopian tube and implant somewhere else in the body. And sometimes what happens is, the body recognizes, okay, it's my own tissue, nothing happens. But sometimes the body thinks it's a foreign body, it sets up a reaction, and there are small nodules formed and they stick to each other, called chocolate cysts, and they are quite painful. So this cystic tissue outside or in the ovary causing cysts is called as endometriosis. The main reason for which the patient comes to us is severe pain, unbearable pain during periods, not relieved with the painkillers. On examination, on scanning, we realize that it's a cyst, then there is a specific treatment for that, we advise it. Though it is not very common, so if there is unbearable pain, you have to consult a doctor. That I wanted to just insist on that. Now the other problem is, in our country, we notice commonly is anemia. Because these girls, they think that, okay, I am obese, by eating all junk, they put on weight, and then they don't want to eat home food thinking they want to lose weight. So they don't eat properly, and at least 53 to 58% we see among the girls, anemia is a common condition. So they feel very weak, sometimes they feel giddy and faint, they have hair fall. So then when we check the CBC or the counts, blood counts, we realize that they are anemic. So that needs to be treated by proper diet basically. So I tell all my patients, at least in a week, if not 3 times, at least 2 times have green leafy vegetables in your diet. Have a cup of dal every day, either in your sambar form or just a dal like the North Indian dal. Have a cup of dal every day. Have 1 citrus fruits, any seasonal fruit you can have. Any orange, mosami. I'm not talking about the exotic blueberries and dragon fruit and things like that, which are so expensive. The regular citric fruits you can have. All these will, improve your blood and you will be healthy also. Basically, it is the girl who is tomorrow going to be a mother. So she has to take care of her health and she has to be healthy. Then only she can bring out a healthy progeny and, do good to the society. Now, coming to that aspect of the reproductive health, well, I have not come here as a moral science teacher to tell you that, yes, before marriage it's not good to have sex and things like that. If somebody is sexually active, I would please tell them to use safe precautions, because always preferably have only one partner and preferably always use condoms, because this HPV infection is very rampant. HPV, that way there are about 200 types of HPVs. It can come anyways. Even for example, this one might have some HPV in which I am holding my hand, our door knobs, the toilet knobs, if somebody has used the toilet and come out with HPV infection, we might all contact, because it comes through skin to skin contact and any fomites will have it, you might catch it. So, HPV as such is not harmful. Of course, if your immunity is low and you touch some surface with HPV virus, you might get warts on the hands or on the feet. That is okay. But there are about 9 types of very virulent HPV, especially 2 of them, which are the